What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be building this custom TV stand on a budget with cheap materials. It is made completely out of pine, but that was what the customer wanted. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. So all that is coming up. Alright, so first and foremost, I forgot to mention in the intro clip that I do have plans drawn up for this. And here I'm just cutting all of the 1x4s for the tabletop as well as the two shelves. The tabletop 1x4s are 48 inches long and the 1x4s for the shelves are 20.5. So I'm just making lots and lots of cuts set up with a repeatable stop block on my miter saw fence station. The next thing I'm going to have to do is make the legs and the horizontal supports that go under the 1x4s. I'm making those out of 2x4s and I'm cutting them down to be 1.5 by 1.5 or the equivalent to a nominal 2x2. To do that, I'm just setting my fence at 3 1/4 to cut off the roundover on a 2x4, and then 3 inches to cut off the other side of the roundover, and then 1.5 inches just to rip it down the middle. The next step here is to set a stop block and cut the legs to length. The legs for this build, I need 4 of them. They're made out of those 1.5 by 1.5 2x2s, and they're cut to 30 inches. And then it comes time to make pocket holes. Lots and lots of pocket holes for all of the sides 1x4s and the shelf 1x4s. All of the shelf 1x4, all of the side 1x4s will have pocket holes on one side of the board, except for one board on each side will have pocket holes on both sides of the board so that they can join into the 2x2 legs. Now I am joining the tabletop pieces, the 48-inch length pieces together using pocket holes with the Craig clamp and the pocket hole screws. I'm just using these soft pocket hole screws made for soft wood, and they're 1 1/4 in length. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same with the sides, the side 1x4s, joining those together with pocket hole screws as well. The next thing to do is to join the side unit into the 2x2s. Now I'll just make one edge flush by laying it on the table and then joining those 2x2s in together. Next, I'm cutting the horizontal braces to length at 45 inches and then drilling pocket holes in them. I just leave my collar on my pocket hole bit set to the same length and drill the pocket holes into each edge of the 2x2s. Now it's time to put the horizontal top, bottom, and shelf braces onto the side units. Just do those by sitting everything on the bench and then drilling in. I use a little bit longer screws here. I use the 2-inch pocket hole screws to go through the 2x2 into the adjoining 2x2 leg. I do that for both of the side units to make the top horizontal braces. And then I flip it over and do the bottom horizontal braces. I keep saying horizontal braces, I just mean the braces that go side to side that will support the 1x4 slats. Now it's time to start nailing in all of the 1x4s. I just use brad nails, 18 gauge for this. I just lay it flush to one side, and then each adjoining 1x4 will be flush to that. Once you get to the end here, you can't fit a full 1x4, so you just have to measure the width of that 1x4 and then rip it down on the table saw to fit the exact size. Now I'll just add some basically stop blocks or spacer blocks, I guess, to make the center shelf. It doesn't matter what height you would like to do, it's whatever height you would like your shelf. Just make sure the spacer blocks are the same so you can get that repetitive cut. Forgot to mention for the bottom as well as the center shelf, it's okay that the pocket holes are on the top side, because once you put the 1x4s on there, you'll never see those pocket holes and never know that they are there. Once I get those shelf side to side 2x2 bracings done, I then nail in the 1x4s across the shelf. Once I get to the end, same as the bottom, you can't fit a full 1x4, so you'll have to measure what size 1x4 you will need, and then cut it, rip it down on the table saw. After you're done with that, just make sure all the corners of the top unit align to the back. The front's going to have an overhang, but the back needs to be aligned. Start by nailing in the 4 corners of the top and then go along the rails and the sides. Lastly, I measure the width and length of the in between the 2x2s on the sides, and then rip down and cut a 1/4 inch sheet of plywood to brad nail in, just to cover those ugly pocket hole screw holes. Alright guys, I'm going to stop the build video here, because anything beyond this is totally up to you. Whether you want to add some roundovers, some additional trim, soften the corners, definitely some sanding. You may decide to stain it or do some sort of distressed or washout look. You might decide to paint it. So all that's completely up to you. The freedom is yours, but I'm going to stop the build video here. I know some of the things I did may not be the professional way to do it, but this is the cheap way. It is sturdy. It will hold up. I've already sat on here, and I'm a pretty big guy, so it will hold me. It will definitely hold a TV, a VCR, DVD, I guess a DVD player, a receiver, not necessarily a VCR. But so just a simple build. Like I said, all this is stuff you can get at Home Depot. It's nothing but 1x4s and 2x4s. And then a couple sheets of 1/4 inch plywood, some brad nails, and some pocket holes. If you don't have a pocket hole jig and you don't want to buy one, you can also make those joints with glue or dowels, or even screwing through the ends here and then maybe just putting some wood filler on it. Just like with the brad nails here, I'm gonna have to go through and fill these, let the filler dry, sand it, that sort of stuff. So it is sturdy. It is a good project for your house or the office or whatever, for a customer. So if you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button to like the video on YouTube. Also subscribe to my channel for future videos. And then if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. So that's all for now. I'm Nick Harrison with Rocky River Woodworks. Thank you for watching.